Hello, everybody, and welcome to iReadit, bringing you your daily dose of the internet for Wednesday, November 1st, 2017. I am Michael Schwan.
And I'm scratching my eyeball.
You scratching your eyeball. Please remember, everybody, you can help support our show by going to patreon.com/dailyinternet. In addition, we do go live Monday through Thursday at 6 p.m. Alaska time. Be sure to tell everybody you know. Nathan, how are you doing today?
I mean, it was really spooky. There was, like, nobody in the entire day.
Our office was fairly quiet and uneventful as well.
It's really weird. I mean, I guess everyone's, like, trying to get over their hangovers and stuff.
I guess. I don't know. Even if it is...
Gotta suck for people who had court dates today. I know a couple people who... Well, I don't know them personally, but I know a couple people who, had eviction hearings today.
It just probably showed up sloshed like, it's day after Halloween.
I absolutely would have. If I'm getting kicked out of my place, I'm going to be fucking sloshed out of my mind.
I mean, there's a chance you won't get kicked out, right?
Okay, so if I was some of those people, I would definitely go sloshed out of my fucking mind.
Because you're like, well, I might as well make a complete mockery of myself.
Yeah.
Yeah,
no.
Exactly, 100%.
If I'm going to lose, I'm going to lose with style.
How was your Halloween since we were not here yesterday?
I watched a really... Okay, so, I watched Halloween. But I also watched another fucking movie on Netflix that I was laughing really hard at. And then I watched a Chinese kung fu movie that ended kind of like a Game of Thrones episode.
Yeah?
It was pretty good, actually. I forgot the name of it. But the other movie was a horror movie, and it reminded me, oddly enough, it had enough Lovecraftian overtones for me to be quite a big fan of it.
Yeah.
However, I forgot the name. No, I remember it. It's called Residue.
Residue?
And it's about this guy who is paid to watch these dudes to find any dirt on them, and he finds this one dude who he watched for a month and couldn't find any dirt. So the guy who hired him was like, "Here, take this book to him, or take this package to him." And on the way, he gets attacked by people, and then he escapes with help from his wrestler friends.
It's getting weirder.
He gets home and he opens it, and there's this book inside, and the book immediately says, if you're reading this, you need to sit down. And he sits down, and just as he's sitting down, this fucking meat hook comes out of nowhere and almost hits him in the back of the head.
Oh, God.
So whenever you're standing and reading this book, you're going to fucking die. But as he's reading this book, he starts going crazy, but then things start happening around him. It projects this aura of craziness for this little neighborhood, and it's such a good movie. I enjoyed it a lot. I thought it was... I went into it thinking this was going to be a stupid as fuck movie, and I came out of it like, yeah, I was sufficiently creeped for a little bit. The ending was kind of a cop-out, but, you know...
And this was a
whatever.
Chinese kung fu movie.
No.
Oh,
that was the horror movie. The other movie, I couldn't remember the name either.
Okay. I was starting to get real confused.
It was about this man who came to northern China to open up a school for Wing Chun, and he went to Tianjin, and in there, there's like 19 different schools, but he has to only beat 9 of them. But the problem is, he can't beat them. He has to fucking apprentice someone from that region so that they can go and beat them. Well, this kid gets to 8 schools, and he makes this deal with the 9th school to kill his student, essentially, get his student killed off. So his student dies, and then he starts freaking out because of it. Like, he feels bad, and then his other student gets beaten, and his school has to shut down because his other student was a master of another school. And, like, he gets pissed off at that, so he goes on this rampage with knives because he knows how to fight with knives. And he goes against this hallway of, like, 20 dudes with knives, and he fucks them all up, but he like slices them, but not enough to kill them, only to maim them, and they're like, what the fuck is going on? What's with this guy? And then he ups and leaves.
All right.
But it was a good movie. I enjoyed it a lot.
We went to the zoo.
I just don't know
for
the name
Halloween.
of it. And it was about Wing Chun.
Cool. We went to the zoo for Halloween.
Oh, nice. I like the zoo.
It was real dark. Couldn't see many animals, but it was still cool.
Last time I went to the zoo, I was not but a wee lad, and my dad took me, and we made noises at the eagle pretending to be baby eagles, and it kept flying up to its nest to look at its children, and they were just fine.
You guys are jerks.
Yeah.
Oh, that is apparently not plugged into the. Hang on a second. The soundboard is There we go. That was a horrible sound. All right.
10.
Aha, there it is. The space industry will be worth nearly $3 trillion in 30 years, according to a report from Bank of America.
This was submitted by the Sheets tweets to our space.
So, looking at how much of the space industry already exists, and with the prospected ideas of what people want to do, Bank of America is like, if you want to make money, space is where it's going to be. They're predicting that in the next three decades, it'll hit a roughly $2.7 trillion a year industry, because already there are...
Oh, fuck. I want to go into space.
There are 80 countries that have satellites in space. Since 2000, space startups have invested $16 billion. The space market for 2016 was a $339 billion market.
Wake me up when that Robert Heinlein book, Through the Gate?
I don't know.
Anyways, there's this Robert Heinlein book about people who want to be explorers, and they have to take a test to become a certified explorer because they get sent out a Stargate into other places, and they go and explore the planets there. Well, this kid goes on his test to become an explorer, and a solar flare happens, and his gate back home doesn't open, so he's stuck there. They're all stuck there for like an extra month or two, and they form their own civilization, and they all pass their tests.
Interesting.
It's like it's a really good read, and it's actually it was what got me into reading Robert Heinlein, and it's honestly one of my favorite Robert Heinlein books, and it's The Tunnel in the Sky.
Well, and in this case, there is a planned human expedition to Mars that should be taking place in the next 15 years. And they're
space so bad.
And they're looking to colonize the moon in the next 30. So if those
I just don't want to be around any of you guys anymore.
If those things happen, then it'll make space just a massive industry.
Not that I don't like you, I just don't like people. Yeah, I can't wait. It's like giant robot fights when they're actually going to be a thing and not when they're fucking scripted and awful.
And depressing?
Yeah, I need me actual Gundam tournaments where people sign up to die. I'll do it.
9.
I volunteer as tribute.
The largest reforestation project in history will see 73 million trees planted in the Brazilian Amazon across the land size of 30,000 soccer fields.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm typing into the chat.
How could you, Nathan?
This was submitted by Love Bamboo to our uplifting news. Ow, fuck.
So basically, there's been some reforestation projects in the past, but they've always been like publicity stunts rather than actual projects. This one is pledging to be an actual project, and basically the way that they're going to do it is by, like, the way that they actually believe they're going to accomplish this is by making the reforestation project simpler. Because the problem with other projects is that they take, like, halfway grown trees, dig holes, plant the tree, get the tree all set up, and then leave. What they're wanting to do instead is basically take, like, 6 times the amount of seeds that are needed and just cover all of the place in seeds. And
nice!
And so what they're going to... How that will work is that if they take... They're hoping for around 70 million trees, so they're going to take somewhere in the ballpark of like 200 million seeds and just cover it across this 70-acre spread. And so what'll happen is the seeds will germinate, the seeds will fight with one another, which means that they're going to be fighting for nutrients and for sunshine, and so whichever trees are the strongest, straight-up survival of the fittest, will grow into a very large, healthy forest.
That's fucking cool.
Mm-hmm.
I really like that. Okay, it seems kind of a waste because you're just throwing an ass load of seeds, but, like, it works.
Yeah, you have lots of seeds. It's not a big deal.
Phrasing.
It's
easy.
I mean, it's just
and
seeds.
You can grow more.
The reason is, one, because we need to undo the damage we've done to the Amazon rainforest. The other is because of the concern over global warming and climate change. Trees are one of the largest things that can help that if people aren't going to be reducing their carbon emissions. Right now, trees account for reducing 37% of our annual carbon emissions. If we increase the number of trees, they can do even more work.
That's exciting. I want to see that in other places where there used to be ass lizard trees and are no longer. I want more forest back. I want it to be more acceptable to not only have forested areas, but to have tree homes.
Tree homes?
Mm-hmm.
My mom's going to build a tree home of sorts.
That's why your mom's one of my favorite moms.
Yeah, she's going to live, so in her backyard, there's these two massive sturdy trees, and she's going to build this, like, house in between them and use it as, like, an Airbnb.
Oh, that's so nice.
Yeah.
Oh, your mom's a genius.
It's actually my brother's idea.
Your brother's also a genius.
Fair enough. 8. Sharks are now protected no matter whose water they swim in.
I was going to say, you got the short end of the stick. This was submitted 6 hours ago by Mavia to Our World News. Damn it! Does that mean I can't play depth anymore?
That means you can't play depth anymore, Nathan.
That's some bullshit. They can be swimming in virtual water and I can get in fucking trouble.
Yep, that is true. 126 countries have signed a cross-border conservation pact protecting sharks.
I'm not going to stop playing depth.
In particular, we're going to be looking at blue sharks.
Oh, why specifically blue sharks?
Because they are
Is it because the Japanese are eating them like crazy?
Well, not just the Japanese. They're one of the most highly fished sharks in the world. 20 million a year are caught.
Have you ever eaten shark?
No, I have not.
I have.
What, is it tasty?
I remember fond memories of the little bit of shark that I did eat when I was a kid.
Well, it's going to be illegal to fish them now.
Yeah, I mean, I've already gotten to eat it. I just don't remember what it tastes like. At that same time that I ate shark, I also ate alligator and cactus.
This includes other types of sharks as well, like whale sharks, which are also highly sought after as well. And does
it protect all sharks?
You know, it doesn't specify, so I would assume so.
I kind of like that. I think sharks are very majestic predators.
This says a whale shark is the world's largest fish. Is an actual whale not considered a fish?
No, it's a mammal.
Okay, that makes sense. So
you didn't know? It's an underwater mammal, dude. It's got a blowhole. It needs air in a specific way.
Blowhole.
Phrasing.
Oh, in any case. So, yeah, and the reason behind this is because sharks are a very migratory species. And
I guess what's the porpoise?
Even if they are protected in one country, they will most often and very likely swim to other countries, which will then just farm them.
I'm really happy that this happened. Now we can do that with whales, right?
I hope so.
We'll stop whaling in a lot of places.
Well,
I guess there's some... Okay. I agree with whaling to an extent. Okay? I agree with whaling to the extent of the way we allow whaling in Alaska.
Which is?
Native Americans can do it. Or Native Alaskans.
Yeah, but so, I mean...
And they can do it for subsistence.
And that's it?
Pretty much.
Okay.
I think they can also do it for religion, but...
It's like, because there's lots of people that will organize companies that are under that banner in order to still get away with things.
Right.
So.
7.
And I'm sure they do.
Pope Francis admits, when I pray, sometimes I fall asleep.
This is submitted by Lukey19 to R Not the Onion.
So...
Pope Francis is the realest pope.
Pope Francis, I love this guy. He's great. And he admits, he lives a very busy lifestyle because he's an extremely active pope. He's also 80 years old, and he spends a lot of time in prayer because he's the pope. And he admits, sometimes he falls asleep. And he's like, don't worry, several saints did it in the past.
Like... To be real, there's really no problem falling asleep praying.
You just pray in your dreams, right?
I honestly also feel that it's no problem falling asleep while on the phone. But in certain situations.
Sure. But, yeah, so the Pope falls asleep quite often, apparently, while he prays. Normally right after lunch.
I would too, because I normally fall. I had a lunch today, so I actually slept through the second half of it. Normally what'll happen is I'll sit there, twiddle on my phone for a bit, and then sleep, but I'll wake up every 10 minutes. So I'll get like 30 minutes of sleep in. But today I ate a bit of food beforehand, so I slept the entire time.
Was it great?
I was an animal, and it was fantastic.
This also made people question what the Pope's schedule is. He goes to bed by 9 o'clock, but he also wakes up at 4.
That's interesting.
Yep.
That's only, like 5 hours?
You're real bad at math, Nathan.
Yeah.
It's 7 hours.
Oh. That was close. Whatever.
I guess technically those numbers are close, but when we're talking about amounts of sleep, that is not close.
5 and 7, I would beg to differ.
In terms of how much sleep the human body requires, those are not close.
Now we're splitting hairs.
Yeah, sure. As in your hairs are splitting because you haven't gotten enough sleep, Nathan.
Wow. My hair, I'll have you know, is very luxurious, even though I don't get any sleep, because of the fact that I condition it with a giant-ass glob of conditioner every morning.
How much do you spend on conditioner?
A lot less than I spend on fucking shampoo, I'll tell you that.
Well, your shampoo's like $16 a bottle because you're allergic. So.
And it's a lot smaller of a bottle.
Yeah, it's like this big. It's a fucking like 8-ounce bottle compared to probably what like a 32-ounce bottle of conditioner.
Yeah.
6.
Verizon wants the FCC to ban states from protecting your privacy.
This was submitted by Mavia to our technology.
Verizon's at it again, folks.
Mm-hmm.
Which it's really funny because this is a good moment of irony in terms of the FCC. So what they're doing is recently the FCC rolled back the ability for data companies service companies that collect data. So we're talking about like Verizon and AT&T. They rolled back the restrictions on them being able to sell your data. And we talked about that previously about how they can sell your data basically openly without your permission as long as they remove the private information the identifying information when they sell that data. So in response to this, some states are upset about that. So they've been putting in protections on the state level. And okay. Verizon doesn't want this. They want the FCC to implement a rule that prevents states from protecting consumer privacy.
Fucking dickbags.
Now, the funny thing about this is that Verizon, it's kind of a back and forth here because they don't want states to be able to protect their your privacy. However, so what they want is they want to restrict the amount of laws that the states can impose on this large of a scale, but they also don't want states to be able to they want to remove the ability for states to set these restrictions in. However, they are also trying to make it where states are able to pass restrictions that do things like destroy competition to where they can't put in, so smaller companies have a harder time putting in infrastructure. So they want you.
So they are literally just being douchebags.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck you, Verizon, you piece of shit, milquetoast white trash.
Yeah, they have lobbied hard for states' rights when the states are trying to pass things that, hurt their competition. But in terms of being able to protect your privacy, they don't want states to have those rights.
That's fucked up, dude. They're trying to cherry pick to their best ability, blatantly, to be able to dick their consumers over.
Mm-hmm.
Blatantly.
Yeah.
Oh my god, the balls on Verizon right now. They're swelling worse than my cats.
Which, it's really funny, by the way, because, so, Spez, who is the CEO of Reddit, which me and Nathan spend gobs amount of time on, it's also where all of these news articles come from. He does an AMA and Ask Me Anything every 3 months. It's just something he does. It's like a good thing for the community. His quarterly AMA was today. And so, people ask him a lot of questions. Some of them silly, some of them very serious. And one of them was a bit of both. He's like, and they said, "Yo, Spez, are you selling our data?" His only response was, "Lord knows I'm trying." I wish I could. No one wants Reddit's data. Nobody wants it. Also, they have their own terms of service makes it very difficult for them to sell data.
That's true. Good on you, Reddit, kind of.
I guess. Also, in regards to this, and this is all tied into really that net neutrality thing. And so we've talked several times at length about how the FCC is working on killing net neutrality, which hurts you in several different ways. I'm not going to go over them right now. But the FCC had an open comment section for several months, and people have went through it and found that there's a lot of bot messages, including messages from people who are dead.
And that was submitted by temporary account 1984 to our technology.
Somebody told me
1984, good year, you know.
Yeah. So, yeah,
Or,
people have
Orwellian, if you will.
went through those comments and found that there's a decent number of them of people that have died within about the last, 2 or so years, so it might not, be overwhelmingly obvious that they've passed away. And the straight up, all of them have been posted with the exact same message and in alphabetical order.
Fuck!
Don't worry, those aren't bots, though.
They're all dead. They absolutely are bots, you stupid fuck.
Yeah.
Stop cucking us from our goddamn internet rights.
Doesn't matter. The FCC chair, Ajit Pai, said it didn't matter about the quantity of the comments, but the legal quality of them. So even if 50 million Americans, 100 million Americans said don't do this, if none of them can give him a good reason why he shouldn't, then he's going to do what he wants anyway.
I'll give you a fucking good reason why you shouldn't.
Because
you'll be fucking blackballed eventually out of the fucking everything when we... Ugh.
Sorry, buddy.
5.
Papadopoulos claimed Trump campaign approved Russian meeting.
This was submitted by Slasia to our politics.
So we talked yesterday about, not yesterday, 2 days ago, about how former Trump advisor George Papadopoulos had pled guilty and was starting to overturn information regarding the collusion between the Trump campaign and Russia, one of which was an email that he had sent to the Russians that he was meeting with, saying that the Trump campaign had approved the meeting that they were going to do. Now, the problem there is that the Trump campaign has said, no, we didn't approve it, we didn't even discuss it, we don't know what you're talking about. And so the question could be, was George Papadopoulos just hyping himself up, hyping up the meeting to try and get the Russians more on board? Don't know, but it does give the Mueller probe more ammunition to go forward with.
Yeah, now they can start, getting more and more emails that they didn't have access to beforehand with subpoenas.
Well, and depending on the people that Papadopoulos is offering them, it just gives them more people to question.
Yeah.
Now,
God, what a fucking last name, Papadopoulos.
The Trump campaign, said that they had only met with Papadopoulos once, that he was a very low-ranking member of the Trump campaign, that he was not a very highly sought-after advisor in terms of somebody they went to very often. That said, if you say you only met once, this is the age of technology where you can have infinite numbers of communications via several different facets, whether it's email, social media, etc. And on top of that, there was another email that said get someone on the low end of the totem pole to try and set it up so that they can easily dismiss it.
Right. Well, who's that low end of the totem pole?
Mr. Papadopoulos.
Oh, it's Mr. Papadopoulos. You guys shot yourself in the foot for saying that shit out loud.
He's got a fun name to say, Papadopoulos.
4.
Utah nurse reaches $500,000 settlement in dispute over her arrest for blocking cop from drawing blood from patient.
This was submitted by Xer to our news.
Damn! What will probably be the final follow-up on this case. We spoke about it previously. It was all over the news. There was the incident that happened at the University Hospital in Utah. Nurse Alex Wubbles was unlawfully arrested after she refused to draw blood from a car accident victim. Wubbles. Telling the police that they did not have a warrant, he was not under arrest, and he was not conscious to give consent, so she could not draw his blood. In response, the police arrested her. And also in terms of this, the lieutenant that gave the police approval for the arrest has been demoted. The 2 police officers that conducted the arrest have been let go from police department. She sued the state, and they agreed on a $500 settlement. That settlement, she has already said, is a good amount of it is going to be donated away.
Oh, that's nice. That's awfully great of her.
A portion of it is going to help people get body camera footage at no cost, because there is cost involved with requesting those documents if you need them in your case. She's also going to be making a donation to the Utah Nurses Association.
I like this. Oh, man. This is some justice right here, guys. This is some genuine good news.
Jennifer says it was an easy win for her, really. It was illegal what he asked, and the arrest was unlawful. Yeah, I mean, pretty clear-cut, which is probably why a settlement was easy to come to.
Yep, straightforward.
So, that probably completely wraps up that entire incident, hopefully.
Unless it happens again. Here's hoping.
No, not here's hoping, Nathan.
What? It creates more work for us.
I guess. I mean, ideally, we have only good news to talk about, right?
The only reason why I like doing news is because I have a hidden case of schadenfreude.
I don't know what that means.
It means I enjoy watching people in misery.
Oh, okay.
3.
A new study suggests that Americans disproportionately choose the years of their own youth as the country's greatest years, no matter how old they are.
Just like 1990, early 90s, that was the best years for America.
Nope.
That was submitted by Movia to Our Science.
And the idea that this study was based around the Trump campaign slogan, "Make America Great Again," because for the majority of people, they can think back to a time where they felt America was better than it was today, because you remember things differently than they might have actually been. And so what is being called the reminiscence bump, in which basically everyone over a certain age remembers a time before today as the best time. So without actually saying, we'll make America like it was in the 70s or anything like that, you think back to a time and you're like, yeah, everything was a lot better then. You're going to make things better like they were then? And just as a blanket statement, you're like, yes, I will make them as they were before, i.e. better and great. People say, cool, thanks. Now, that said, I'm not sure what this, really affects, because, for me, I will say I feel like America was better 2 years ago, but that was also before Trump was president.
I'm going to agree with Jennifer. It's because we were kids. Of course it was the best. We were kids.
Sure, and my life might have been, no. Aside from the state of things right now, I am happier and feel like my life is better today than it was even 5 years ago, or even when I was a kid. Childhood was rough.
Yeah.
I take it you do not agree.
I mean, Nah.
I would rather go to work than go to school.
Yeah.
Feel free to express your opinion, Nathan.
The way I feel about this is this day and age it's great. It's great in a lot of ways. It's great in most ways. It's probably better than what I want. But I kind of like being a kid mostly because of responsibilities.
Well, in this particular survey, the majority of responses found positive memories between the ages of 10 to 30.
Wow, that's wide. That means I'm going to be stuck like this until after my 30s.
Sorry, buddy.
Oh, man.
You okay there?
Probably just kill myself.
No, you won't.
I know.
2.
Manafort has 3 passports, traveled to China with a phone registered under a fake name.
This is submitted by Mazed to Our World News.
The dirt's coming out. Now, it is not terribly uncommon for people to have more than one passport, especially if you travel around the world consistently, because different countries have different requirements in terms of going there, whether it's a visa, a travel pass, etc. For instance, China, you have to mail them your passport. They stamp it, mail it back to you before you're allowed to go into the country.
Damn, that's weird.
It is a weird process, but because of things like that, sometimes people have multiple passports. However, he has 3 passports, more than anyone can find a reason to have, and the other thing with that is all 3 of them are under different numbers.
So that sounds very shifty.
It's pretty shifty. Also, multiple times when he travels, and depending on where you travel, you have to, register things like your phone and stuff like that so they know who you are, your communication, stuff like that. Multiple times he had phones that were associated with not only different emails, but completely fake names.
What?
Yeah.
Bro.
And he's traveled a lot. In just the last year alone, he's traveled to Dubai, Cancun, Panama City, Havana, Shanghai, Madrid, Tokyo, and the Grand Cayman Islands.
How do you get more shifty?
You apply for loans in the in the last 4 years, and on every single one of those loans, report that you have a different amount of wealth. And when I mean different amount, I don't mean like, oh, I have $24 million this year and $25 million next year. No. Like one loan, you say I have $36 million in wealth, and on a loan 6 months later, you say I have $136 million in wealth.
Oh,
that's pretty shifty.
Was he doing that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's not okay, man.
And Nathan just disappears from the screen.
I had to throw away my gum.
That's fine. All of this is coming to light in terms of them surrendering to the federal investigators, and it's gonna keep getting more interesting. They have both been placed on house arrest because Mueller declared that they were both at serious risk of flight, which is relatively understandable.
Relatively? Motherfucker, if you don't understand why, then you are fucking dumb.
Well, considering that, they have multiple passports, are very high travelers, and they're being arrested because they have substantial assets that are offshore, yeah, I think there might be a flight risk. So they have made bail, and they are on house arrest.
Of course they made bail. You see how much money they had? Jesus.
Yeah,
where's the civil forfeiture?
Their house arrest is a lot different than normal people's. They are not allowed to leave the house for any reason besides medical or religious. They have to wear monitoring devices at all times and check in every day with the FBI.
Oh.
They also had to turn over their passports and things along those lines to make it really difficult if they tried to leave.
You would have to, have someone come to your house, make you a passport, and then for you to get your ankle monitor off and onto something else that seems just about your size and everything, and then you need to leave them at your house and use them as a scapegoat as you escape with your newly made passport.
And then never show up anywhere ever.
You would have to also do something drastic, like plastic surgery right on the bat. Man, this would be a good movie.
I believe it's called. What is it called?
Catch Me If You Can.
Well, no. There's a 007 movie. Which one is it?
All of them.
No, it's one of the ones with Pierce Brosnan.
The World Is Not Enough.
Is that it?
I don't know. I'm just naming the Pierce Brosnan ones.
I don't remember. It's the one where the dude had a face surgery, and he I remember the Ice Hotel. Darn it! What is it called? Ice Hotel. Which movie was this in? Ice Palace. That is. Die Another Day. It is called Die Another Day.
Gotcha. That was my second choice.
Yep. Because the main villain in that one was a Russian or a Chinese dude, and they thought, wow, really? And they thought they got him, but he managed to survive when the diamond mine exploded, and then he took all of these all these really impressive fake diamonds and got complete facial reconstruction, and then used all the fake diamonds to build a fake company and make all this money, and then built a satellite that they was going to use to destroy the world.
Are even with context.
Yeah. It's all bad. But at the same time, that's all 007 movies, and so it was great. Just terrible. Delightfully bad.
1.
Deadly terrorist truck attack in New York.
Sorry, my computer is making, scary noises.
Are you?
This is submitted by Frostet to our news.
So what has been revealed as an ISIS attack happened in Manhattan when a truck that was picked up from a Home Depot, because, well, you can just rent a truck if you want for about $20, plowed into a very busy street where cyclists frequent. 8 people have been killed and over a dozen have been injured. The suspect has been apprehended. In the truck, as well as at the suspect's apartment, there was a large amount of ISIS paraphernalia, including letters written in Arabic pledging allegiance to ISIS. The suspect, a 29-year-old man, was also seen shouting Allah Akbar while he was running around after he had crashed the truck and had jumped out. He appeared armed, but his actual weapons were a pellet gun and a paintball gun.
You're not doing very much with that guy.
No. But it was probably so that he appeared...
And it's in a nation where you can easily get a gun.
Well, it was also probably...
Well, okay, I'm glad you didn't.
It was probably so that he appeared armed in the hopes of, like, FBI suicide, but that didn't happen.
Yeah. That's insane.
In terms of actually being labeled a terrorist attack, this is the largest terrorist attack on U.S. soil since 9/11.
Well... Really? This is bigger than the Pulse nightclub?
That wasn't actually labeled a terrorist attack, interestingly enough.
Okay.
Because he wasn't associated with ISIS.
Sure.
I know, it's weird.
Okay.
That is all we have right now, so...
That's crazy. Because, I mean, this has been happening in Europe all year.
Yeah. And it just keeps happening and is becoming more and more frequent, yet people do very little to try to address it. Now, the suspect was apparently on an FBI watch list, although it was for something different, is all they have said.
Probably, like, either drugs or pedophilia.
Who knows? I'm sure we'll find more about it.
More things will come to light soon.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately.
So, fortunately, there's very little detail right now, but we will let you know if anything comes up that we have a show for. Or not. Maybe. We'll see what happens. Who knows?
I'm Mr. Meeseeks! Look at me!
Nathan, what did you care about in the last 24 to 48 hours?
I saw today I learned that kind of blew my mind.
What is that?
I don't have it pulled up, but it was today I learned that Pokemon is the highest grossing media franchise
in the world.
And it has Star Wars beat by 13 million.
I thought
I'm sorry, 13 billion.
Yeah, billion.
Yeah. So I pulled up the list of the highest grossing media franchises, and I'm going to go through them. Are you ready?
Just go through like the top 10.
This is in order from top to bottom, right?
Okay.
Pokemon, Star Wars.
Does it say the amounts?
Yes.
Okay, give us the amounts too.
Pokemon, 55.15 billion.
Wow. I said, wow.
Yeah. Star Wars, 42 billion as of December 2015. Harry Potter, 25 billion as of April 2016. I'm sorry, Pokemon was as of March 2017.
Okay.
James Bond, 19.9 billion as of October 2015.
I'm impressed that one's so high.
Call of Duty as of February 2016 with 15 billion.
Okay.
The Simpsons with 12 billion as of October 2014. Star Trek, 10 billion as of July 2016.
Okay.
Ice Age as of 6 billion as of April 2016.
Oh, that makes me sad.
Jurassic Park, 5 billion as of 2000. And then you're ready for the last one?
As of 2000?
Yeah, as of 2000.
Well, that one's changed.
Mortal Kombat with 5 billion as of June 2000.
Interesting. Man, some of those numbers are horribly outdated.
The rest of them, I'm going to speed through them. Halo, Mission Impossible, Skylanders, Terminator, The Matrix, G.I. Joe, Neon Genesis Evangelion, I don't know how to pronounce that. The X-Files, Tomb Raider, Saw, and Family Guy.
Interesting. I feel like because some of those are 17 years old, those numbers are incorrect.
Right. And then they have like an incomplete list.
Because I like Jurassic Park with Jurassic World. Jurassic World itself made like $2 billion or something crazy, didn't it?
I don't know.
I don't know either. In any case, that's cool. I cared about the fact that the voice cast of 2019's full CG remake of Jon Favreau's The Lion King has been revealed.
Yeah, and it looks fucking good.
So, if you are curious, I'll run through these very quick. The only returning cast member, I will tell you that one first, is James Earl Jones returning as Mufasa.
The only one that really mattered.
I would have liked to see like Rafiki come back, but he just died like a month ago.
Yeah.
So that's real unfortunate. But in terms of the rest of the cast, we have young Simba with J.D. McCrary and young Nala being Shahadi Wright Joseph. Now for some names that you might actually recognize. Adult Simba is going to be Donald Glover.
That was announced a while ago.
Adult Nala is going to be Beyonce Knowles.
Mm-hmm.
Scar is going to be, I suck at pronouncing this dude's name, but God, is he a good actor, Chiwetel Ejiofor?
Yeah.
He is such an awesome actor. Sarabi is going to be, God, jeez, these names, I suck.
Alfre Woodard.
Thanks.
She was the evil chick. I forget her name. She was the evil one in Iron Fist. She was also Aunt Josephine in the Series of Unfortunate Event TV show.
Zazu is going to be John Oliver.
I'm so excited, and I just can't hide it.
Rafiki will be played by John Connie.
I don't know who that is.
I recognize his face.
I might have to do some digging.
Pumbaa is going to be played by Seth Rogen.
Okay.
Timon will be played by Billy Eichner.
Isn't that Eichner?
Eichner. And you know the real unfortunate thing is these other three characters, I'm not sure who they are.
I know who Shenzi is.
I know who the actors are. I do not know who the characters they're playing. Azizi is going to be played by Eric Andre. Shenzi is Florence Kasumba, and Kamari is Keegan from Key and Peele.
Yeah, Keegan Michael Key. So one, how the fuck did Eric Andre get in this goddamn production?
I don't know.
Two, I know who Shenzi is. Shenzi is one of the hyenas, because in The Lion King it was Shenzi, Benzi, and Ed.
Oh, okay, sure.
However, I think they're changing it to Azizi and Kamari, but I'm not 100.
That would make sense then, because
because the way they're laid out.
Well, and they're the only other like big characters that I feel are missing here. That is the hyenas in terms of like major roles is the three hyenas, but like because I remember their names as well now that you mention it is Shenzi, Benzi, and Ed, which that probably means that Key is playing Ed.
Ed, yep. And Eric Andre is playing Benzi.
Yeah. Which I guess that's okay.
I don't know how the fuck he got on this production, because all of these other actors are like, you got like John Oliver and fucking Key from Key and Peele and goddamn fucking James Earl Jones and Donald Glover and the fucking you have all of these different big name dudes.
Seth Rogen.
And then you have Eric fucking Andre.
Hey, maybe he got a new agent, okay?
Have you ever watched the Eric Andre show?
No.
Oh my god, it is the most clusterfuck goddamn show. It is okay. I'm constantly teetering back and forth between it being a genius program and it being like shit, like stains on the bottom of a fucking boot that has been walking around in a porta potty, pacing back and forth because you don't know whether or not your belt will become unbuckled in time.
Okay, that was okay. But yeah, so that'll be coming out in summer of 2019, and that's pretty exciting.
And that was also submitted by melanism.com to our movies.
I believe you already said that, but that's cool.
Oh, I don't remember if I did or not.
I don't either. All right, let's get out of here. What do you say?
Yeah, I'm down.
Sweet. Everybody, if you would consider supporting us, please do so on Patreon, patreon.com/dailyinternet. We would appreciate it greatly. Otherwise, please share us on social media, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. All of those are at iRedditCast. If you have stories you would like us to talk about, send them to our subreddit, which is also iRedditCast on Reddit, or you can send them to us in an email, which is feedback.ireddit@gmail.com. And you can find me at Schwan Michael and Nathan at Bimmenstein on all forms of social media. And that is it, everybody. That is your 376th dose of the internet. I am Michael Schwan.
And I'm Nathan Wood.
And please remember, everybody,
don't get elected!
Have a good day, everyone.
Bye.